We're going to talk about it and we're going to dive in. You already know how we do on Split Decision. Now, of course, your boy fought last night. For the people that don't know, Split Decision is a boxing debate / talk show. But we also talk about striking. You know, any sport that talk about striking, 1% of the time we will talk about it. 99% of the time we talk about boxing. Of course, Israel, one of my favorite fighters, Khabib and Jon Jones in the UFC. So, of course, my man fought last night. Israel versus your boy who you picked to win.
Yoel Romero.
He's 42, but he look like he's 24 doing all them flips and stuff. But I believe last night Israel made him feel his age by the end of the fight because... You know, all of them kicks was very effective. Now, the fight started off pretty slow. Yoel had Israel kind of questioning what he should do next. You know, but Israel, like he talked about, patient is the key to beat Yoel because he will have you waiting and then he will explode on you as soon as you lose patience. Yeah. So what you saw in the fight last night, did Israel impress you? Did you see a weakness in Israel game? Because, you know, he calling out the best, Jon Jones, 2021. He said he coming for the throne.
I wouldn't say that I saw a weakness in them. It wasn't a good fight, and I like both of these fighters. I think Israel is just a wizard inside of the cage. And Yoel Romero is just a genetic athletic freak from Cuba. He's doing it for the old heads out there. And I wanted him, this was kind of a happenstance, opportunity for him to be able to fight for the title. And everything was against him to win this fight. But I said if something special happens, he has a special night, then he could win it. And that didn't happen at all, mainly because of Israel. Israel was very patient. Yoel was basically, he likes to conserve his energy. He's very heavily, muscled. So it takes a lot of, oxygen and stuff to power those muscles. So he in his later years, he's developed a kind of a laid back style, and then Israel didn't really play into it. So you had a lot of stalling at times, but Israel pretty much controlled the fight. Some judges had it 3-2. I think honestly, I probably had it maybe like 4-1 or something, but I wouldn't tell my friend that because we were betting. But those leg kicks, they were hurting me, and they looked super painful. But it wasn't a good fight. So I mean,
I think it was a good fight. I don't think it was that bad of a fight. Of course, it wasn't like the undercard or the co-main event, where it was a complete war. This had more, it was like, that's what I like to call the art of war, where fighters ain't doing a thing, but it's a lot going on because they filling each other out, they fainting, just like in the sport of boxing. Yeah, so I respect it. I respect the art of fighting. So, I wouldn't call it a bad fight. However, Yoel had a lot to complain about after the fight. Now, you have... I respect the fact that you're honest and you gave Yoel only one round, even though you could easily say he won 2 rounds. Possible, but at the end of the day, my man won it clear. Israel, it was his moment. But at the end of the day, I believe he handled the moment how he was supposed to, because Yoel, on one hand, he threw me off because he was saying that he won the fight, or Yoel, he complained about Israel not wanting to fight. Yeah. Now, that goes to both of the fighters. Mm-hmm. Yoel has to look in the mirror first when he makes those complaints, because Israel last couple fights are very entertaining when fighters come at him. I mean, like, they always complain about Rigondeaux, talking about, Rigondeaux, he boring, he this and that. But okay, well, let your hands go, and he gonna counter you and make it entertaining. So Yoel can't complain about Israel, claiming that Israel didn't dish it out, that he not a champion because he didn't fight like a champion with all the people paying the pay-per-views. But at the end of the day, what's the point of all of that if Yoel himself didn't let his hand fly? So what's your take on Yoel complaining about Israel, not fighting and entertaining the fans how he was supposed to, paying their hard-earning money to watch an entertaining fight?
I think that it was somebody who lost and was kind of grasping at straws to try to give an explanation for a poor fight and poor performance. And I love Yoel Romero. He's probably my favorite MMA. Well, I mean, John Jones is up there, of course, just because he's just supremely talented and probably is the GOAT. But just entertainment-wise and watching, he's one of my favorite fighters. And I bet some a round of drinks. Well, not even just covering the drinks. We went out to a spot. We don't want to give free advertising, but went out to
to watch a fight.
To watch out too.
And you already know Professor Nim had to pay for the food and all of the above because you already know he picked the wrong person. So that being said, I understand.
I was voted with my heart there, and I was like, I just wanted to make it interesting because London, shout out to London. London was a guy who joined us out there. And he told me the guy he was going for, and I knew because everybody who has any kind of a brain is going for Israel. He might be the best fighter in UFC and might be the brightest star out there. But I wanted to make it interesting. I wanted to have fun, so I was like, I'm going with my boy, the 42-year-old, and I lost.
Well,
I paid for drinks.
At the end of the day, I feel like he presented a good, a sign of himself. He's still a good fighter. He still got it. But I just feel like Israel is a better fighter, obviously.
Yeah, it's just his time.
Yeah, it's his time. And I feel like Yoel, this was kind of like his last chance at a world title.
It's definitely his last chance at a title.
Because he's getting there. He's getting up there with age. But with that being said, can you hit the bell, Professor Nim, so we can move on to the next round? And this round, just interesting news came out that J-Rock Williams will not be applying the rematch clause, and he's not going to activate the rematch clause to fight Rosario. Of course, J-Rock Williams, when he fought Rosario the first time, he was pretty focused. He said that he's not overlooking him. He trained hard. But Rosario is that good of a fighter. And like I said, boxing is the theater of the unexpected. We see upsets all the time. So we even though we just saw an upset last night on PBC, this was a very huge upset, possibly one of the biggest upsets. Split Decision is a boxing debate / talk show where AkHi, he chewed up Professor Nim like some M&Ms. I mean, today I'm rapping like I'm Eminem. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like the OG swag. Youngin in the game, but OG in here. So with that being said, even though he a professor today, like I said, I'm the doctor. I'll tell you the truth, and Errol Spence, the truth, co-sign what I'm saying that Tyson Fury, basically, there's a question mark next to his name and his legacy.
Y'all with me.
As
do
a whole.
hashtag Professor Nims.
I buried Professor Nim alive today.
I'm looking
so
good.
So we're going to talk about this on a different episode as well. We have more topics, but we don't have the time. And I appreciate all my AkHis and all the people in the chat. Like I said, I see y'all ripping the AkHi Nation. I see y'all telling
3P
me
Nation,
I buried Professor Nim, my own broski, alive. So with that being said, if I do that to my own broski, picture what I'm going to do to you. Peace, and we out. Take us out, Professor Nim.